Good morning, everyone. Coattail Trader here from coattailtrader.com. It's 9 o'clock in the morning on May 29th, 2013. Done trading for the day. Theoretically, I don't trade after 9. I actually didn't trade at all today. I was just way too busy with other things. And if I can't focus a lot, I don't like to trade because you make mistakes. But very interesting day for the levels, as you'll see. Some whipsawing going on, but actually no. You would still be depending on when you stopped. You would actually still be ahead. So if you'll notice today, more levels on my chart than yesterday. When I first made this video, there was only one, and now you can see we at least have four on here. So let's start it off. Here's our market open right here. It opened below our main level that we look for, so that indicated a bearish sentiment. You can see right here we had a signal generated. Would not have taken this one just because, again, the band, it's outside of my deviation band. It's not all the way outside, but again, when it's even that little bit outside, I'm too paranoid, so I don't take it. So I would not have taken this one. Here's another signal. Again, same thing here. Would not have taken this one. Here's our first trade that met our criteria. Would have missed it though because price never came back and touched my level. I would have had an order waiting at 47 even and never would have gotten in. No fill, so I'd still be sitting there waiting for a trade. Now on this one, at this point, so when this happens and we start to see it get down to the band, what I'm looking for is a bounce play. Since I missed the opportunity, I'm waiting for price to come back to the level and bounce, and maybe I can get in again and bring it back, follow it back down. So I was watching these candles, and like I said, for the record, I didn't trade at all today. I did have my account in sim mode because sometimes I like to, if I do decide to trade when I'm busy, I always want to do it in sim because I like to see what would happen if I'm not fully paying attention. Can I set up an automated strategy where I just get in, I don't watch, and do all that stuff. So I was watching here. I saw this candle. I thought it was going to set up for a bounce trade because it closed. It met my rule for a bounce trade. Had it closed back down, I would have gotten short, but no, it didn't happen. Once this happened, this violated my bounce trade. A close above my level, the bounce trade is gone. Now we're looking for either a reversal trade, which needs a new signal generated, or a continuation, which also needs another signal. So right here, this closed here. Now that violated this candle, so this is no good. Now we're waiting to see if we go short. Price tries to close above a level, can't do it. Price closes below this level, but it doesn't close below here. So that was not a signal. Now we're waiting. We're about 50% there. We're waiting for the confirmation. We get confirmation right here. This would have been a short trade because it met all the rules, but it would have resulted in a loss right here. So the stop would have been 49, and that would have hit right here, which coincidentally is an exact reversal signal. And if you'll remember from my other videos, I don't take reversal signals unless it takes me out of the trade that I was already in, which in this case it would have. So when this price hit, I would have been taken out, yet this would have been a new signal because of this candle right here. So the price would have been at 48, and we would have not gotten taken out here. So we would be up 1 point right now. So if we took this one and a loss, we'd be down 2, and now we'd be up 1. So now we're at -1. So at this point, I saw it come out. We would have already been out of the trade by the time it came out of the bands, waiting for either the bounce play or the break. And we get a bounce trade right here. It meets my criteria, closes higher right here, and then it closes right here. This is your signal for the candle. We would have got in at 75, which we would not have gotten stopped out, plenty of room. We would have gotten our 1 point. So at this point, we'd be break even. Now right here, you can see this is a signal. However, I would not have taken it because look how far outside of the bands it was. I was in sim mode. I was actually watching when this happened. I did not take it. Again, just because I'm in sim mode, I try. It's almost theoretically impossible to trade the exact same way in sim mode that you would in real life, but I really, really try hard. I don't want to set myself up for fake fake profits or any kind of fake emotion. So I did not take this one. Obviously, yes, it would have worked out, but we didn't know that prior to this candle, so I didn't take it. At this point, I was looking again. Since you miss trades, there's always another opportunity to get in. Looking for a bounce, looking for either the bounce trade off of here or a break of the level down here. So I thought price was going to come up, but it never made it this far. Again, we waited, came down to our next level. You can see we had a little congestion. Like I've mentioned before, when these two levels, I have a level here and a level here, when they're that close to each other, I don't like to just trade the level. I want both levels to be broken. That's good, solid confirmation. So we see the first break of the level right here, here, and then we see the second break. Now at this point, I was waiting for a confirmation. We got the signal. We're just waiting for confirmation. Never happened. This candle violated it. And actually, here's your reversal signal right here. So you would have gotten in and you would not have gotten it, or I would not have gotten it, depending on if you use market orders or not, because I would have had my order at 41 and I would not have gotten in. So as you can see, that's 2 times now that I missed profitable trades just because I always put my order back. Sometimes you can use market orders. I just don't like to do that. Depending on how you trade, if you would have got in a market order, you probably would have been filled somewhere around here at 50 or 75, and you may have gotten it. If you used a market order to get out, you wouldn't have gotten it. You would have gotten some profit, but not a whole point. So anyway, we're still waiting. Now I'm looking for a bounce trade, which I get right here, but I get the signal, but I don't get confirmation. So once I see this, the bounce trade is no longer valid, and here is your, let me just straighten this out a little bit. Okay. So once this candle closes, boom, this is your signal, here's your confirmation, and you would have gone short at 39.75, and you would have easily gotten your point right here. So at this point, you would be break even for the day right now. From the one loss back here, you had your win. I'm sorry, you'd actually be ahead now because you had a 2-tick loss here. I'm sorry, 2-point loss here, 1-point win. I'm sorry, no, it's 2-point loss here, 1-point win here, 1-point bounce win here. So that's break even. This trade now puts you ahead 1 point. So now you're waiting. Again, when it's a reversal of the level, you could have got an aggressive long, would have been right here. But for me, I wait for the levels to be always broken. So I wouldn't have taken that. You could also have played a bounce here. Right here was your bounce trade. But that was also this was your entry. This would have been my entry candle right here. Here's your signal. Here's your entry. And we would have gotten in at 42, which we see would have been filled, and we would have gotten for 43. So now you've got your 2 points, and you could be done for the day right there. So you had 1 loss and some wins. You can see the levels played out again nicely, as they normally do, and in just keeping going. So you would have been out right at about the 8:30 mark. You would have your last trade of the day would have gotten you out, let's see, at 42 when it hit 43. Now, I don't know if we would have been stopped out on this one because if you'll notice, here's your entry. The entry is 42. For me, when it hits my 3 ticks, which would have been this very next candle, I go to break even. Break even is right here. On the next one, it hit 75 again. Now, it came back to our opening. It came back to our break even. Now, I don't know if we would have gotten taken out there. It depends on how many contracts traded there. In sim mode, you would have gotten taken out because sim mode doesn't care if you're first in, first out. As soon as it hits, you're taken out. So we don't know what would have happened here. But if it did take you out at break even, you're still up a point. You're waiting. This could have also been a bounce play if you missed this one. If you got taken out, so you're waiting right here. It closes. Here's your first candle. Here's your second one. Now you could have waited for the next bounce, which may have been right here. Yeah, this would have been, you could have gotten in here I don't know if I would have taken it because of the deviation, but let's see if it would have worked out. It would have. You would have still been fine. You would not have gotten taken out, so you would have gotten your 2 points here, another bounce trade here. So if you would have gotten taken out here and you wanted to at least get your point, your next signal was 832. If you are like me and it hit you around 830 and you didn't want to trade anymore, you wouldn't have gotten your 2 points for the day, but at least you would have gotten 1 point for the day. You're still positive for the day. So in keeping going, just to see what happens. Again, here's a bounce trade off the level. Here's your entry right here. Obviously, you would have not been filled. I would have not been filled. So I would have missed that one. And let's see, nothing, no other trades as of right now. So if you would have done that, you would have been still at up 1 point for the day, unless, like I said, if you decided you wanted to take, if you took this as your first bounce or this is still your entry candle right here, so you would have been fine. You would have gotten your 1 point right here if you would have, if your stop losses are where I put mine, which it would have been within 1 tick of this. It never came down. My stop would have actually been this level right here. And like I said, normally when it's a level like this, I might move it down a tick or two just because price has a tendency to, touch this a lot of times or even poke through it and come back up. But if you did it, you would have been okay, and you would have gotten your 2 points, and you would have been done for the day. So either way, depending on how you traded, you at least at the very minimum would have gotten 1 point or two, depending on how you did it. So that's it. Again, as we can see, levels very, very powerful. They do a lot, and they're just, it's amazing how good they work. Along with these bands, the bands can keep you out of trouble. Again, if you'll notice, you would have had, if you were just taking signals off of the levels, you would have had 2 losses right away. Because here, this would have been your first entry, but you would have had a loss, obviously, and the loss would have been right about here. You'd gotten taken out right there, and then you would have seen this candle to go long, and you would have gotten taken out immediately again right there. Um, so you can see, like I said, there was a few missed opportunities because of the way I trade, always using the limit orders, but that's the price you pay. For me, no trade is a win. A lot of times, yes, market orders do work. I just don't like market orders because they already put me in a position of weakness. When I use a limit order, the odds increase for me. I'm usually right at zero. If I get in a tick above, I'm usually at break even. I'm usually at zero from the start instead of being minus a tick or two already going in and having to fight back to get up there. I like to be in a position of strength rather than weakness. If I miss a trade, that's okay. There'll be more opportunities later. You can't get every trade. Thanks for watching. Make sure to follow me on YouTube. Make sure to visit my website, coattailtrader.com. Follow me on Facebook, Coattail Trader, and follow me on Twitter at Coattail Trader. Thanks, guys. Good trading.